A very good evening to one and all present here. I am Shivani Mathur, Program Officer at BMA, and our today's topic for FET is identifying cost and time losses in your business and operation. And the speaker of today's FET is Mr. Himanshu Shukla. He is mechanical engineer from NIIT Surat and MBA from BK School of Business Management. Having 34 years of experience with blend of business development and operations head and USP of blending interpersonal skill into the functional skills. I welcome you, sir, for today's FET.
So let's start this. This is actually a functional kind of a presentation. May not be that maybe some fun element may not be there, but we'll try to make it slightly interesting. See about this session. What we can expect from this session is, see, TPM is not for the big corporates and MNCs. MSCs also can take benefits out of it. This TPM, there is a wrong concept that is prevailing in industry, specifically in MSCs, that this tool is mainly for the big corporates and MNCs, because the first of all, the professionals having expertise in TPM is less in industry, and there are consultants who are present in the market, in the industry, who are providing this consultancy, but those consultants, as I told you, being less number of consultants or less number of expert people in the industry, they are charging very heavily. So only big corporates and MNCs can afford that. And basically this consultants are targeting for the TPM awards. There are TPM awards also being given to various industries who are succeeding this, and cost of getting this award is very high. So that has made MSCs believe that this is not for us. So whatever we are doing, we should continue this. So first takeaway is, this TPM is not only for big corporates and MNCs, even MSCs also can take benefit of that. And this introduction to comprehensive approach to increase profitability through cost and time loss reduction. TPM is perhaps the only tool which has a comprehensive approach. It takes both best of both the worlds. It takes lean concept, it takes Six Sigma concept, it also applies scare and all. So in all, it does not prohibit you, it does not restrict you to apply certain kind of tools only. They allow you to use whatever concept that you have, whether it is a value stream mapping or a lean concept or a Six Sigma concept. Then this is extremely useful fresh and entry level engineering professional to sync with the industry, because industries are always trying to optimize their cost and their operations, and the fresh engineers or fresh students, engineering students, and the entry level professionals who are not very conversant with all these things, if they have some basic knowledge about this tool, then when they get an offer or when they get a job and when they go to the industry, they can very well get sync with the industry, because the industry will they will be able to contribute something constructively into in the industry. It enhances employability, because as there are very few professionals with TPM exposure, so if you have slightest of TPM exposure, you will be valued in your organization. So this is TPM. Yes, it will come. It is a total productive maintenance. I'm just saying you the brief about this session, that what you can expect in this. Then introduction to the tool, which can bring in radical positive change in organization culture, because this tool wholeheartedly emphasize on improving your efficiency. It works on identifying the losses that is prevailing in the business operations. So the entire culture becomes that. It is a team game. So basically the entire culture is getting changed, and it is getting into the cost sensitive culture. And using this tool at your workplace, the most important thing is you can go back to the home with a complete job satisfaction, because the activity is such that when you are involved in this activity and when you go back to home after completing your work hours, you will have a kind of satisfaction that today I have done something great or something contributed genuinely. So these are the takeaways in this. I'll start with certain business myth actually. These are the business myth that is prevailing specifically at the operational level, functional level, and sometimes even at a higher level also. That uh, increase in production is increase in productivity. Whenever somebody is talking about productivity, what we do is that increase production. So that means we believe that the productivity is increased. Actually, production and productivity is a different concept. When you face any kind of a rejection or something, what you do is you put a more inspection checkpoints. You say 100% inspection. Not a single product should go without an inspection. And you believe that it means the quality and hence increase in profitability if you can do this. When you repair or rework, you save cost. We believe that something was getting rejected. I have repaired, I have reworked. So I have actually saved a cost. These are the business myth. Reduction in manpower is reduction in cost. Whenever there's, this subject comes up that we want to reduce a cost, first thing people, think, the management think is, what is the manpower strength? Why this gentleman is needed? What he is doing? Can we do away with him? This kind of things are prevailing. And for capacity enhancement, wherever you are running short of resources, what you do is first is capacity enhancement, bring in more equipment, bring in more resources, bring in more manpower to increase the production, because you want to enhance the capacity and deploy more resource and increase in production. So naturally, we believe that it reduce the unit cost, per unit cost. So these are the myth, and the biggest myth in this is nobody knows my business better than me. Again, this is the biggest business myth. We'll come to that later. अब reality क्या है? What is the reality? So increase in production does not mean increase in productivity, because productivity and production are two different concepts. When you are thinking about productivity, you also consider the inputs deployed for that. So it is two different things. More inspection checkpoints. What happens when you do more inspection checkpoints or 100% inspection? Naturally, it leads to increased cost because we are deploying more manpower. So you will be paying for that manpower. Second, your lead time is increased because you have said they do it 100%. So that means your material is ready, but you are not very sure of your quality. So you are applying a 100% inspection. So your lead time is increased. You can't dispatch it immediately. So, and it does not guarantee reduction in rejection. You are restricting rejected component to go to the customer, but it is not reduction in rejection. When you repair and rework, actually you add cost. You are doing some operations which you are not supposed to do that, but you are doing so. So actually you are adding the cost. Just reduction in manpower is not reduction in cost. There is one concept called manpower utilization factor. You first utilize your manpower effectively. And once you achieve that effective utilization of manpower, then you think of whether you have an excess manpower or not. So you can't just reduce the manpower. You do not always need to add production equipment to increase production, because there are lot of losses that is prevailing in shop floor. If you reduce those losses, then maybe you may not need an extra equipment for that. And increase in production not necessarily reduce per unit cost, because when you increase the production, you also increase your resources. So productivity is not get affected. And the reality is there always exists a much better way to do your business. Whatever way you are doing, there always exists one much better way to do your business. That is a reality. Simple business dynamics is what? That most important BPI, business process performance indicator, any CEO monitors are margins. We all are working for margins. Unless and until you get a margin, there is no point in being in business, right? There are many industry who works in that concept only. We cannot name it, but there are industries, their motto is if they can't be first top 3 in the business, they will not be in the business. If they are in top 3 and it's MNC, if they are not in top 3, they will disinvest. They will not be in that business. That is their motto. So the margins, at least protecting margin or increasing margin, this is a single most to-do list act in any CEO's list. That what is to be done? Increase or protect your margins. Price increase, NPD, new customer acquisition, all this comes. These are the way to increase your margins, but they all comes with their inherent set of limitations. You have to have some capacity. You have to, the market has to have a demand. There are cost of acquisition of new customers. So there, it comes with their limitations. And often overlooked factor is COGS, cost of goods sold. You might have seen when there is an emergency, when there is an urgency, people don't think of cost. Something has to go today means it has to go today. And if you look carefully, you are actually incurring extra cost to dispatch it today itself. So COGS, cost of goods sold, are often overlooked. And that comes on surface only when financial statements are prepared. When financial statements are prepared, then you come to know what is your COGS, cost of goods sold. And these financial statements, it's not regularly coming on. It is not prepared on day-to-day basis. It comes at monthly or it may be fortnightly earliest. So, and all the cost factor does not comes to the CEO's desk. Whatever cost that is prevailing, all the cost that does not comes into CEO's desk. Only way to control COGS is make your business operation efficient. There is no other way by which you can reduce your cost of goods sold. So here again, one punchline is that when goals are largely fixed, approaches are many and each one is dynamic. Your goal is fixed. You want to protect or increase your margins, but the approaches are different, many and dynamic. You can't stick to just one approach throughout your business life. It keeps on because business is dynamic, world is dynamic. The only constant is the change. So you also have to review your approaches and keep on changing that as time changes. This one author, Michael Tracy, in his book Discipline of Market Leaders, in business excellence, he has tried to categorize the activities in this way. Business strategy, there are three categories. One is NPD and price and product leadership. So as I told, NPD is new product development. So when you do a new product development, there are limitations because one is the market has to have a demand. Second is you have to have a capability, not only technical capability, even financial capabilities also, because when you are developed, your R&D capabilities, your finance capabilities, you need this. And price and product leadership, again, it depends on market. You can't just keep on reducing your price, but at one point you have to stop. And product leadership also, because of competition, it may not be always possible that you enjoy a product leadership. Then second is new customer acquisition and customer intimacy. This both again is a cost affairs. And customer is not a married wife. They can change loyalty anytime. So that means you have to have constantly incurring some resources, some cost towards retaining, whether it is customer intimacy or a new customer acquisition. And the third one is operational excellence. So here we are going to talk about the operational excellence. This is the some categories by the Michael Tracy. Operational excellence stages are this. One is a strategy deployment. When you are done with your strategy, you have formulated your strategy, you deploy your strategy to your business. So this is one way, like you develop your vision of your organization, the mission statement of your organization, your purpose. Many companies now even define purpose, why we are here in this business. Is it just money or something else? So they define purpose and then they do strategy mapping. The strategy mapping again is a subject, a full subject, which can be taken for another 1.5 months. But they very carefully and in detail map the entire strategy on each and every aspect of business. So that is called strategy mapping. Once you have deployed your strategy, then comes the performance management, that how you are performing now. So that is process management, KPIs, key performance indicators, then balance scorecard. You must be aware about all these things. We prepare a balance scorecard for each and every activity, each and every employees, right? And then management review. Without review, nothing is possible. Third one is a process excellence. Actually, we will be talking about more on this process excellence. So process excellence, here you deploy all the process improvement tools like lean management or Six Sigma or value stream mapping, or a TPM is total productive maintenance. The full form is that. And once you do actually a process excellence, and with proper training, coaching, and the cultural changes, you create a high performance work teams. So when you create a high performance work team, you are now moving towards the excellence. Now, what are the ways to reduce cost and improve profitability? So again, as a lot of things were told, increase productivity, do not produce rejection parts, eliminate or reduce repair and rework, Equipment condition monitoring to enhance equipment availability. Most of the time, equipment, you might have seen in organization, the equipment and the maintenance department. The most neglected people in any organization actually is maintenance department in practical. And the one who has complete knowledge of process and equipment in entire company is again maintenance people. Only maintenance people knows everything about your equipment. Your maintenance people know how to operate this equipment, how this equipment can deliver the best product. They know, but they are neglected one. So if you now start equipment condition monitoring, then you can increase your equipment's life. And that is how you can reduce your investments even in equipment, or at least you can defer that investment. Reducing lead time from order to delivery of parts. This is again a very sensitive issue. In you, as you reduce your lead time from order processing to delivery, you will be able to serve more orders, and hence you will be able to rotate your inventories more frequently. Your cash inflow increase. There are many advantages about that. So you should also work towards the lead time reduction. Then work on part production cycle time reduction. When we are in a manufacturing industry, there are many activities involved in production which can be eliminated or can be made efficient, or the time taken to that activity can be reduced and all. So you work on that. How do you reduce your part production cycle time? Eliminate time and cost losses. This TPM exclusively works on time and cost losses. How to identify time losses, how to identify cost, and then try to eliminate those things. And effective utilization of manpower. That is called manpower utilization factor. Further, how to reduce? Take a scientific approach to production management. I have highlighted this more because uh, I myself particularly targeting MSEs to use this TPM. And in MSEs, many a times the approaches are not scientific. It is a person driven approach. Someone tells you to do something and then you keep on doing that without assessing that whether it is okay or not, or whether it is worth doing that or not. Second is adopt operational efficiency tools. Again, when you are not a process driven people, then you tend to ignore these operational efficiency tools. Involvement of all employees. All employees must be involved in whatever that you are doing. One important thing is every action for business, whatever inside the premises or outside the premises. You are right now attending this seminar. It's a business activity. So any activity inside the premises or outside the premises, it attracts cost and it gives some output. So the idea is any action and in turn employee, because employee is doing action, they should be net positive. They should be net, that should be net positive act or net positive employee. Whatever has been incurred on you and whatever output that you are giving, it should be some positive at least, if not more. Understand your cost tree. Many times we actually do not pay enough attention to our cost. So understand your cost tree properly and eliminate non-contributing cost element. Take cost reduction projects. Then increase yield. This is again a one most important parameter which is many a time ignored. This yield is different than productivity. This yield means whatever that raw material that you are deploying, physical raw material, and the physical weight or physical conversion of a sellable product which you are selling. The difference between these two, this ratio is yield. Whatever is less is all wastage. So you try to increase your yield. One such comprehensive tool is TPM, Total Productive Maintenance, which takes care of everything. So we will be talking more on this TPM. What is TPM? So TPM is a Japanese scientific approach to production management. Actually, this TPM is a very old concept. In 1970s, Japan has invented this, and in 1972, Nippon Denso has first implemented this project. That time it was, why it is, they have not changed the name, total productive maintenance. So maintenance refers to equipment. So that time it was referring to the actually equipment maintenance, because way earlier somebody who has gone through the various stages of this management concern, 70s were the time where everything was done by something called expert opinion. So there are somebody who is expert, it was believed, and it was true also to larger extent, that he knows better. So whatever he knows, you just go and ask him what is to be done, he will say this is to be done, and it was to be done. So what was happening is, in equipment, you were taking maximum advantage of the equipment, and actually you were looking at equipment with a humanistic approach or angle only when it breaks down. So the breakdown maintenance, that type of things were prevailing that time. So first time they had approached this total productive maintenance, and they had actually looked into the equipment maintenance side, and they moved from breakdown maintenance to preventive maintenance to predictive maintenance to maintenance prevention, like that. So they had started that. So this is a Japanese scientific approach way back in 1970s. It is a process driven approach and not a product driven. When you are learning TPM or when you are implementing TPM does not know product. You don't need to have a technical knowledge of a product, because you are actually looking at a process. What is the process that you are doing? So anybody can tell, when you scientifically look at the processes, by looking at process itself, you can say that whether this is required or not. Can it be eliminated or can it be reduced? Because you are not looking at product and technical specifications out. That is not a business of TPM. Scope of TPM is extended to entire business operations now, and not just limited to shop floor. It was, as we go on history, in 70s it was talking about the equipment, then 80s, late 80s and early 90s, they thought that, oh yeah, this philosophy, these principles are very well can be implemented in business operations, soft floor also. So they had extended that into the production soft floor. And then in 90s they started the same principle to be applied in the other business operations also. So office TPM, the one pillar came in office TPM, where you are now looking at the lead time reduction, when you are looking at the your consumable cost, your inventory cost. So you are now looking at that also, and the same principle can be applied there also. So it is a comprehensive, so not just limited to shop floor. It is involvement of all employees. One very, very popular slogan on TPM, whosoever knows TPM, whether he knows anything else about TPM or not, he knows this, that what is TPM from watchman to chairman. Means when you are implementing a TPM in your organization, right from the watchman to the chairman, everybody should be involved and everybody should have their commitment into that. Focus on effective utilization of resources. As we say that we are trying to reduce the losses, so it is focusing on the effective utilization of resources. Minimum emphasis on adding equipment. Instead, it focuses on equipment condition monitoring and reducing loss factor. So they are actually enhancing the equipment life and then thinking of the addition of the equipment. It takes into account equipment availability, productivity, and quality rated. Why it is comprehensive? Because they have derived one monitoring parameter. They calculate overall equipment effectiveness. OEE is a measurement of how efficient your organization is. But it takes care of everything. It takes care of availability. That means how you maintain your equipment. It takes care of your productivity. So how efficiently you are producing your part, and then the quality rate. So what is the overall quality rate? What are the rejection rate and what are the repair and rework rate? So everything put together, they are deriving this OE value ratio, and then you keep on monitoring that OE, whether it is an increasing trend or it is a decreasing trend. These are the TPM steps. There are 7 pillars. These all individual, these are called pillars. One is autonomous maintenance, second is focused improvement. As I told you, this is a Japanese concept. So autonomous maintenance is called JH pillar, Jishu Hosan. So it talks about the operator's involvement in the equipment. Then focused improvement, that is KK, Kobetsu Kaizen. That is what they say. Here, under this pillar, you do all the improvement actions in whatever area. Then it is a plant maintenance. Plant maintenance is like you are shifting from breakdown maintenance to preventive maintenance to predictive maintenance to maintenance prevention, like that. And then quality maintenance, all you are taking care of your rejections, repair, rework under this head. Training is a very integrated part of actually every steps or every initiative that you take. But here in TPM it is much more comprehensive. So training is an integral part. You have to train each and every people, because from watchman to chairman everybody is involved, so everybody may not be having a enough knowledge about that, so you have to train all the people. And then comes office TPM, which takes care of your inventories, your order processing efficiencies and all. And SHE, safety, health, and environment. So earlier people were just naming, now it has become mandatory everywhere. I had worked in one of my organization where I was a chief operating officer. Uh, One gentleman from GUSA was to visit our plant, and in our entire group, my plant was considered as a model, role model, because it was nicely built and advanced plant. So anybody who comes in that group, they used to visit our plant. And we were taking good care of everything. But one gentleman, when we went, we took him to our CNC tool room. Then in between, he saw one gentleman who had gone on some 3 4 feet height and doing some activity. There was no harness, there was no helmet, there was no glass. Just like that, these are the common problem in workers. Whatever you say, but they will not believe. "वो बोले, नहीं नहीं, not comfortable." So वो चढ़ गया था ऊपर. He saw that and he came back. He did not visited the plant. He said, "No, no, I don't want to. You people are so careless about safety. I don't want to work with this company." He simply came back and he did not visited the plant. For 1 hour, I spoken to him and I convinced him, and many things came. And after, just to, I think just to respect my words, or just not to humiliate me, he visited the plant, but with completely non-interested. घूम के वापस आ गया और चला गया. So nowadays, safety, health, and environment has that major role to play. Slightly more elaboration on this TPM pillar. Autonomous maintenance, AM, shortly called as JH, is what actually you are trying to involve operator into these activities. You are bringing in sensitivity towards equipment for operator. You might have seen that when a production person, what his mindset is, I produce. The moment some problem comes in equipment, what he will do? He will call maintenance fellow, maybe some sleep feeling or some intimation, some way of communication, and then he will sit back. Maintenance fellow will come, he will see, he will repair, and then he will start working. So it's my machine, I produce, but I do not touch the equipment. Many times even maintenance fellow says, no, 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 don't touch the equipment. Something goes wrong, you are responsible. So वो नहीं करता है. I've seen in my earlier days of career, I've seen many smart production people. I was a trainee engineer. It was beginning of my career. I was a trainee engineer in one shop floor machine shop. It was a submersible pump manufacturing company. And I joined that company as a trainee engineer. And I was given task of a stage inspection. Whatever component is machined, I have to inspect few and I have to put a signature on that I have inspected and it is okay. So I was at a learning stage. I was learning. There were two very smart machinists were there. I still remember their name. One was Sheikh and another was Raju Bhai. Very smart. So what I used to do, I go there and I tell them, राजू भाई बराबर है ना, सही कर दो, वैसा ही कर दो. वो क्या करते थे? we had brought in the productivity, that you have to machine 82 PCs, that is the 100%, 100 PCs, that is 100%, and then you should have minimum 85%, something like that, So what they used to do, they will do something and the alignment will get disturbed. वो बाजू में बैठ जाएगा, मेंटेनेंस को बोलो अलाइनमेंट नहीं है, हाउ डू आई डू, मेंटेनेंस वाला आएगा, he also know that, but he has to look for that, उसको check करना पड़ता है ना, he will check it, he will see it, he will identify where is the problem, he will align at that, and then बोले okay, now you carry on, the time is gone, so his now target has come down, and he is very efficient, he can match now the target. So with this he used to achieve 100%. So these type of things earlier people were doing because there were no sensitivity towards the equipment. उनका काम ही नहीं था. So here in autonomous maintenance, what we do is we are trying to bring in that sensitivity of production person into the equipment. So we are trying to bring in operator into the role, because there are two types of maintenance activity. One activities are such where the operator can himself do it, like oiling or monitoring, some tightening, something like the lubrication, he can do that. So this in autonomous maintenance, we break those two parts, and the one part we say, operator, you do it yourself. So that is from shifting that to my machine, I operate, I maintain. So we are trying to bring in that culture, that concept in autonomous maintenance or JH pillar. Focused improvements. Again, here we identify losses, apply Kaizens or Scare or Lean or Six Sigma, whatever concept that we can deploy to that, and we try to improve those things. Plant maintenance, again, from breakdown to maintenance prevention. Quality maintenance. So under this pillar, we take up all the steps or all the advancement improvements to reduce your rejection and reduce your repair and rework. Training, under this training, you enhance your capabilities and knowledge. Office TPM, you make your order processing more efficient, and inventory cost reduction, lead time reduction, and safety and health and environment, we always do it. Base of the TPM is 5S, workplace organization. Now, I keep on telling everybody that 5S is actually a widely known word in industry. Anybody and everybody knows 5S. If you ask them 5S, do you know 5S? Yes, I know 5S. But in practice, when you see, when you implement 5S, conventionally I'm talking about, it starts at third S and ends at third S. I've seen that whenever somebody, when some visitors are coming, some auditors are coming, you give a specific instruction to your department, 5S देख लेना भाई. ठीक है, देख लेता हूँ. वो क्या करेगा? Housekeeping. Everything will be cleaned, everything will be, shine हो जाएगा. But that is actually a third S. In third stage, you have to shine your workplace. You have to clean your workplace. So when you say 5S, it starts at third S and it ends at third S. So it is widely known yet widely misunderstood word in the industry. So there are 5 stages in this. So that is also like sort, set in order, shine, then standardize, then sustain. You make a list, what is available with you, you make a list. We can again take some 20-30 minutes on this 5 years also, but you make a list of equipment or the whatever articles that you are having at your place, list it out. Now you apply your knowledge whether you need it or not. You might have seen in our house, apne ghar mein, many a paper, many a file, many article, many items, we keep it just like that. We never use it, but we'll say nahi, kabhi kaam mein aayega. You go to that additional space, storage space, malia we call it. You climb that, you climb that once in a year actually, but the entire space is occupied for don't know whatever things are that. That is called. So you have list of item articles, but why you are keeping that? If you are not using it, discard it. If you are using once in a year or once in 2 years, probably that time some new advanced things might have been in market, you just get it. So that is the thing. So you make a list, identify which is required, which is not required, discard the not required items in industry. You cannot just discard it, but there can be some other department who might be needing it. Then you shine. Put it in a proper place. It is told there is thumb rule in 5S. What is 5S? Best 5S is whatever article that you need to produce your or to do your activities at your workplace should be available within 5 seconds. If you can get the things, if you get the article within 5 seconds, that means your 5S is optimum. So try to do the things such that even if it is not there, you can easily locate that it is not there. So like that, there are n number of things by which you can do that, and then you standardize it. फिर बाद में बता दो. You put something over here, then make it a standard. कि this pen is to be here only, not at any other place. So make a standard. And once you do that, the most difficult part of our life is sustain. Then you sustain. I have not seen any company till now which is at a 5S, 5th S. Believe me, be it MNC or whatever. I have visited many MNCs, big corporates, इंडस्ट्रियल इंजीनियरिंग गुड्स में जिसका नंबर 1 2 3 आता है उनके प्लांट भी मैंने देखे. बट 5th S तक कोई नहीं है. स्टैंडर्डाइज तक है. एट स्टैंडर्डाइज एवरीबॉडी इज देयर, बट सस्टेनेंस कहीं ना कहीं गड़बड़ हो जाता है. सो व्हाट यू डू, क्रिटिकली रिव्यू इट, पीरियोडिक रिव्यू करो, नॉलेज एनहेंसमेंट करो, ट्रेनिंग दो, कुछ गेम्स वगैरह रखो, कुछ एनीथिंग, you can declare some motivational things. Second part is GH, autonomous maintenance. We'll just see briefly. GH is also having these activities stages. 0 is a preparation stage. You have to motivate people. There are many activities which can be done. You have to have preparation. लोगों को बताना है कि what you are going to do. Operators involvement आता है ना, तो there is a preparation stage. Everybody, training is to be given. Understanding is to be given, what is required, what is not required. So there are many things which falls under preparation. Then you start with initial cleaning. Initial cleaning actually is an inspection. What is cleaning? Cleaning is inspection. Not just clean it, but when you clean it, you identify those abnormalities also. Somewhere something is broken, somewhere something is missing, something is leaking, somewhere lubrication points are not there, many things. So you just identify those abnormalities and rectify that. Then you put a counter measures. कैसे करना है, मतलब dirt आता है तो how to avoid dirt and all. And then once things are done, then you develop a temporary standard. Every day you need to do this. Once you do this, then you carry out a general inspection. Okay? Till now, whatever we have done, whether everything is in order. Once it is done, then then you go on that the most difficult part, autonomous part, that make a standard, then sustenance, how you will do that, all these things. So these are the step of JH activities. We will not go into much detail, but as a one part of this cleaning and preparation stage, you can prepare this kind of tags. So red tags is where maintenance is required. You can color code it. Many people are coding it in a three colors. White color tag is the tag which you can correct without help of maintenance people. It is such things that you don't need actually a maintenance people. You yourself can remove that abnormality. Those are all white tags. Where you need a maintenance person or a CFT cross-functional team, you put it a red tag. And yellow tag, many times people are putting where the abnormalities are related to safety. Then you put a yellow tag. Some ideas are given how to find out this, what to check when you are doing an initial cleaning. So what exactly you are doing. So आप ये देखते हो whether any loose bolts are there, some missing parts, some rusted parts, some air leaks, oil leak, dirt, dust and cobwebs वगैरह कुछ है तो वो सब आप देखते हो. ये these are the things which you are looking for when you are doing an initial cleaning. Air is again large cost incurring and widely ignored things. When you go in a shop floor, there are many places where air is leaking and nobody is bothered. because there are compressor, there are standby compressor, and there are third compressor. So they don't bother at all. When pressure drops, the another compressor starts. But they don't know that why you are starting another compressor. It is again an energy cost. This is some standard. Such standard you can prepare. CLITAO, popularly known as CLITAO, cleaning, lubrication, inspection, tightening, adjustment, and operation. So you can maintain such standard. You can make what needs to be cleaned, what needs to be lubricated, what needs to be inspected, what needs to be tightened. You can decide your frequency, whether you will do it every day or you will do it once in a week or you will do like that. Now, third one is losses. As we told, we are identifying time and cost losses. So these are the 16 losses. Another popular word in TPM is 16 losses. They have identified that there are 16 type of losses prevailing in the shop floor. They are this: either your equipment is failing, setup and adjustment cost. TPM, again, one interesting thing is what TPM says is, the actual production time. If you are a engineering industry, the chip making time is your production time. That is what this is. Any activity that you do other than that chip making is a loss. Try to reduce. We say कि setting में तो time लगता है. No, that is called setup and adjustment loss. Loss. Try to reduce that. We say, but mine is a chemical company and my furnace needs to achieve some 250-degree temperature. So I am starting at 8 o'clock my furnace and I am getting the temperature at 200 after 2 hours. So what is that? That's not loss. No, that is loss. Try to find out the ways and means how you can achieve 200 immediately. Your production should not be lost because of that thing. You have 8 hours to produce, and that 8 hours you should keep on producing. So that is how they know. So equipment failure, setup and adjustment, tool change. You need to change some tool, you need to change some equipment, you need to change some sensors in between. All these things are losses. Startup losses. As I said, your furnace needs to reach a temperature of so and so degree and it takes say about 1 hour. So that 1 hour is a loss. Reduce speed, minor stoppages. बात करते करते रुक जाते हम. When somebody is producing, he is talking to his friend. So once he complete his talk, then he will go to the operation. Na? And those are minor stop. Nobody, takes any consideration of that because those are minor. 1 मिनट बात किया उसमें क्या है सर? बट 8 घंटे में 25 बार 1 मिनट बात करता है वो. So 25 minutes, one operator. You have 100 operators. How many minutes? Nobody considers that. But that is again a loss. Reduce speed. Your equipment is not in proper condition. So you are reducing the speed. Speed and feed. If it is a machining product, you can operate at certain speed and certain feed, but your machine is vibrating. So it is not able to take that much of cutting load. So you are reducing. You are reducing feed. You are reducing depth of cut. Instead of 1 pass, you are taking 3 pass, 2 pass, like that. Reduce speed. आपका like some chemical company है तो उसके in vessel there is a deposition. So actually it's a 2000 liter vessel, but it can accommodate only 1500. But you are still operating because you don't want to clean it or something like that. So that is called reduced speed. You should be getting a production of a 2000 liters. You are getting 1500 liters. So these are all reduced speed. Defect and rework is always a loss because once you have already used your resources and you produced a defective piece. So it is a loss. Scheduled downtime is also considered as a loss. So many times we don't consider that because it is scheduled. But TPM says why you need that time also. Can you make some alternate arrangement? One person goes on schedule down and then another person takes over. Management losses. The biggest loss is management losses. Nobody considers this as a loss because then management comes in picture. You don't have an order. Your equipment is idle. So everybody is okay, comfortable. But then management should be questioned. Why you don't have an order? Operating motion loss, again a kind of loss. Line organization loss. Many times, if somebody is in production, you might have seen morning mein aane ke baad, when you come in the morning, then you deploy people. You go this, you go there, you go there, you go there, you go there, and you take about half an hour to deploy the persons. These are line organization laws. Why every day you need to tell somebody? Many people have that tendency. Nahi, wo betega, he will sit in the chair, manager will sit on the chair, everybody will gather there, and one by one, you go there, you go there. Then somebody will say, sir, I am already on that. Okay, okay, then you don't go, you go there. So he wastes half an hour into that. But he should be, it should be known to them. 8 o'clock, they should be at a workstation. So these are also line organization loss. Then logistic loss, unnecessary movements. कहीं से लाना है, वहां से लाना है. Your product, after completing one operation, it will go to some other operations. I am consulting one chemical where for raw material weighing, he is having his vessel at a different places. So he go to each and every individual places, take out some material, make this thing, and then come to. So it's like that. Energy loss, die cost. This is a loss structure. When you do in a detail, you can have this. These 8 type of losses, they are affecting your equipment efficiency. Here, in this side, it is not showing. It's here. On this right side, these 5 losses, they are affecting the manpower efficiency. And the last 3 losses, they are actually the cost losses, like energy, tool and die cost. These are all direct cost. How to implement TPM? So you can implement TPM like this. First implement 5S, then implement JH, then record benchmark losses and OE, then implement KK, improvement actions, and then you measure it. How much improvement that you had done. How do you monitor? You prepare a dashboard, PQCDSM. Then you calculate OE. PQCDSM, again, productivity, quality, cost, delivery, safety, and morale. So you prepare a dashboard, you calculate the OE score and monitor that, record all the major losses and eliminate those losses, then implement 5S, then frequently conduct Gemba walk. Gemba is again this thing, but Gemba means the real life situation. You are getting to the workplace and then try to find out what is it. So what you can do is, you can ask these 7 questions, that what task are you doing, whether he is aware what he is doing, is there any standard process, कोई SOP है कि नहीं है, अपनी मर्जी से कर रहा है. Are you encountering any problems while completing this task? What causes the problem? Is he having some analytical mind, that can he analyze anything? Root cause find out kar sakta hai ki nahi? So you ask these 7 questions and try to find out that how your production process is going on. These are the steps. First, you impart a comprehensive training on 5S JH 16 losses and how to calculate OEs. Then take up workplace organization, that is 5S. Then work on the autonomous maintenance. Then you work on the identifying losses and record current status. Then you calculate OE. And once you calculate OE, then work on reducing losses. Then you take up cost reduction projects. Identify your cost tree and then cost reduction projects. And then you take up projects also to reduce the delivery lead time. Once you do this, then now you can say, now you know your business better than anyone. So this is all about TPM. Thank you very much. Any question? We can take up offline questions if somebody is, interested in having some more in depth in that. This is actually. See, software, TPM specific software is not there. But see, what you can use, everybody is using your ERPs and you have your software. You have to modify your software to capture these losses data and all. Currently, I am working with 2 clients where we have modified their software we wanted some specific data, because see, in your system always you don't get the data in the required format. It might be there, but then it can be, after combining 2 3 reports you can get this. So what you can do is, your master is same, you take up the mart, ask your software to prepare the report which is in sync with the TPM. So there is no software, because there primarily this is actually a team game. If you go into the detail, there are circle level activities. The operator who is working there, you are framing one circles, and the idea is that the idea should come from that circle level, not from top. वो नीचे वाले का आइडिया आना चाहिए, ही शुड, क्योंकि अनलेस अनटिल, बिकॉज ही नोज बेटर, जो काम वो कर रहा है उसमें उसको पता है कि कितनी प्रॉब्लम्स होती है और क्या नहीं होती है, तो ही कैन गिव यू वेरी वेरी वैल्यूएबल सजेशंस. सो सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं है, बट आपके सॉफ्टवेयर में आपको वो मॉनिटरिंग डालना पड़ता है. सो दैट इज हाउ यू कैन डू इट. हाँ, you can modify that. Yes, and many a times what happens is, no, and many a times what happens, that you are capturing the data, but in some other form, some other ways. So you can identify that whether you are doing it or not. Many a times it happens that you are doing that. Yes, that is monitoring part only. Generation and the actual work is to be done is from here. See, idea is actually to bring in the cultural change. This is such an activity that whenever you enter your organization, you should be thinking about cost and time losses, not anyone else. You should be able to tell. Many a times you yourself is doing that. I have seen some so many things. Like, for example, one important thing is make or buy decision. One very important management concept. You decide whether you will make it in-house or you will make it outside. But while taking this decision, you are ignoring this type of losses. You are having, for example, I will give an example of from one of my experience. I am making a say, for example, a part for the panel. Conductor, I have to prepare a conductor. I have copper. I will cut it. Then I will send it to the machining vendor, because I have taken a decision. I will not make in-house. It is all buy. I am at X place. My vendor is at Y place. I will send my product, my copper, raw material to him. He will produce. He will machine it. He will give it back to me. Now I have to plate it. I have to done a surface treatment. मारे plating करवाना है. So I will send that plating to the plating vendor. Again वो वहां जाएगा, वापिस आएगा. Transportation में your there will be a problem in plating. Plating remove हो जाएगा, उखड़ जाएगा, कहीं blister आ जाएगा, वो वापिस जाएगा. आप बोल दिया कि भाई हम आई डोंट वांट मशीन, मेरा मशीन नहीं है, आदमी रुक गया, ये रुक गया, बट यू आर नॉट कंसिडरिंग दैट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट, बैक एंड फोर्थ कॉस्ट, लीड टाइम, देन द रिजेक्शन बिकॉज ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, डेंट आ गया. You are having a conductor, you can't afford to have those type of things. You can't afford rough surfaces because it increases resistance. So and then many things are getting rejected. So you are not considering that. So these are all type of losses. So when you comprehensively look at the TPM, now you will say that, nay, okay, if you want to have a make or buy, so then include this cost also, and now evaluate whether you still would like to go the same way or not. What we had done is machining was still done with the vendors only, but we encourage vendor to have a plating setup also. So he used to give me everything done. Even we had done a vendor park kind of a thing. एक vendor को तो हमने हमारे कंपनी में ही बुला लिया था, पीछे जगह दे दिया, इधर ही करके दे दे दो. So you can do many things. But again, this is a comprehensive training. If we want to have a complete training on TPM, minimum 3 days workshop has to be there for at least 4 to 5 hours. क्या કંટાળી બી જઈએ ને આટલું બધું કરીએ તો, એટલે પછી વચ્ચે બ્રેક બી જોઈએ, એટલે 4-5 કલાકનો તમે ઓછામાં ઓછા 3 દિવસની વર્કશોપ હોય તો આપણને ટોટલ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ આવે, and then it is implementation. So what I am currently doing is I am working with client, and I am physically there twice a week. So it's not just a classroom training. I am physically there twice a week, and I am getting involved. I am training them on the job training, identifying monitoring, review, everything is being done. Balance 4 days, I assign some homework, they do it, and then again next 2 days I go and review it. Anything else? Yeah, sure. But anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. Thanks, Baroda Management Association.
On behalf of Baroda Management Association, I thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge and experience with all of us and for delivering such a great lecture. Thank you so much.